What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we are here at Maple Koi based in Surrey and we are going to be doing a walk around tour of the whole facility. We're going to be showing you all the fish, getting up close and personal with the fish, and we are actually going to have another episode which will be part 2, which will be coming out after this episode, so make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. Remember to check out those links in the description. As I said, we are here at Maple Koi shooting part 1 to this new episode. We are going to be doing a walk around tour of the facility. We're going to be looking at the tow side, the nis side, the sand side. We're going to be looking at all the fish available, maybe getting some underwater footage and maybe bowling some fish up as well. So I'm going to head around the facility and show you all of the fish that Maple Koi has to offer. Here we are at the first pond of the facility, and this is where the majority of the tow are held from a number of different breeders. As you can hopefully see, they're all crowding around right behind me because they think I'm going to give them some food. But there's loads of different varieties in here. We've got some kahakus, some Kogani Achiba, some Shoas, Ginrin, loads of Ginrin in here. Absolutely stunning fish, some Platinum Ogons. There's just so many in here. Some Hietsuris I can see, and some Shiratsuris as well. Now, I know this is koi and not goldfish, but these are really similar to the goldfish in their colours, and they have loads of different varieties, way more varieties than we actually have in the goldfish industry and the goldfish world. But I see as the goldfish hobby is slowly developing, we are ending up with more goldfish varieties which are really similar to the koi here. So for instance, we've got the Hietsuris in here, which are the black and orange fish, and we are slightly getting more and more tiger ranchu, for example, which are the black and orange ranchu, and they are very similar to the Hietsuris in coloration. Obviously not looks wise and body shape, they're completely different, but I'll just show you these guys right now up close and personal, and then we get some underwater footage of them. As you can see, these fish are absolutely begging for food. There are so many different varieties in this pond, and they think that I'm going to feed them. They think the camera's food, and they're going absolutely crazy. As I mentioned, there are so many different varieties. There's lots of bling in this pond, as you could say, with the Kogani Achibas, the Platinum Ogons, the Ginrin Kahakus, and many of these fish do have similarities in their colours to the fancy goldfish. Not quite the body shape, they are far more slender and far more energetic than the fancy goldfish are, and they can really outcompete them for food, which is why we tend to not keep them together. Now this pond is around 1,000 gallons, as I mentioned. It is run on a bead filter and a multi-bay filter to keep the water nice and clear. Although the water isn't totally clear, you can see the clarity is pretty good for the number of fish that are actually in this system. In this system, if you were keeping fish at home, you'd probably only keep around 8 fully grown koi, or maybe 15 to 20 tosai in total. So the water clarity is actually really good, and these fish are fed a couple of times every day, ensure they maintain their current body weight and stay as healthy as possible. That's it for the first pond. I'm going to head up the garden. As you can see, there are so many bonsais and trees all around me. There are so many different plants in this garden, which is absolutely awesome because Japanese koi do go hand in hand with bonsais, and you can just see there are so many here. Look at all these stunning trees all around, and there's also more just around here. And now we are getting to the main pond of the facility. I believe this pond is about 6,000 gallons, potentially 8,000 gallons, and you can see it right behind me here. Absolutely huge. Now, I have spoken with the owner, and we are actually going to get some of the fish in the net so we can have a good look at them, and then after that we're going to head up to see the rest of the garden where the heated pond is, and some of my absolute favourite fish are up there, and they are absolutely beautiful. The pond is more insulated than this one, so this one gets covered in the winter. There is a large bay filter which is underneath all of those bonsais over there, and the filter media is mainly built up of Japanese matting and alpha grog, which just gets flushed every couple of weeks or so, but it is an absolutely huge multi-bay filter, and it has a really large vortex as well, which helps settle out loads of the solids and the waste. Hopefully you can see all the fish behind me. There's some absolutely huge fish like this chagoi just down here. That's around 85 centimeters. Hopefully I'm capturing all of this on camera. It's just coming up here. Hopefully you can see absolutely huge fish. There are so many fish in here, from sankis, goromos, ochibas, kajaku, shoa. There's a really large shoa just coming over right now. That fish is around 65 centimeters. And you can just see it's in a really nice setting. So maple koi is actually in a back garden, and that is why we have so many trees around us, so many different bonsais, which the dealer actually sells as well, not just the koi. So now that's it for the main pond. We are just going to bowl a few fish up, or net a few fish up I should say, have a little look at them, inspect them, see what the positives and negatives are to them, and then we're going to head up to the end to look at the heated pond, where there's some absolutely special gems in there as well. This is the first fish that we chose to bowl up. Not the greatest example of a kahaku, but I thought it was quite interesting to show you. You can really see that the body shape on this fish is quite fat and round, similar to a ranchu goldfish, and this is actually because this fish is holding loads of eggs. So this fish has developed these eggs, and they will go throughout the summer most likely if it is spawned. You can see the pattern is quite nicely broken up along the fish, and although the head pattern, just after the head pattern on the shoulders, although that pattern has not fully broken, it looks like it may develop in the future and slightly break away. You can see it's got lovely white skin and quite a good contrast. So the next fish up we've got is actually a Midori goi. This isn't a key shisui, as it is a single colour of fish. It has a really nice big zipper down the back with those large scales. And this is a doitsu fish, meaning that it doesn't have scales, or a scaleless variety, and the large scales you see are the only ones on the fish. This is potentially quite similar to the sakura goldfish, and this is quite a similar name, but the Japanese give it the doitsu or doits name. Now this fish is actually supposed to be green in colour, and that is why it's called the Midori goi, which means green koi. And it is actually quite a rare fish, and you really don't get to see them too often. This is quite a nice clean example. So the next fish we're actually going to be bowling up for you is another quite rare specimen, or one that you don't get to see too often. So this is actually a metallic Shiro Utsuri. And you can just see that the colours on this are absolutely amazing. It's not a ginrin, so it doesn't have the sparkle in the scales, but it has that metallic look, similar to an orange or red ranchu, where these have the metallic but not ginrin scales. It's got a lovely broken up pattern all along the body. It's got a really nice clean head, good body shape, and a nice strong fish overall. I really like this fish, and this was my favourite that we bowled up for this video. I really like the uniqueness of it, the metallic black in the fins, the metallic black in the tail, and hopefully over time, in an ideal world, that black or sumi will start to darken and deepen as this fish gets older, to really give it some more presence in the pond. Now this fish was around the 60 centimetre mark, and I believe it was a sansai, which means 3 years old, or under 3 years old. It had come over from Japan. I can't quite remember the breeder of this fish, but it's really unique, and I really enjoyed to see this one up close and personal. So those were some absolutely fantastic fish we just bowled up, but now right to the end pond, which I would say has got some of the most amazing and best fish of the facility. So we're just going to head through the jungle, through all of the trees, all the acers. There's so many acers around here. Everywhere you look there is acers, and so many bonsais. So now this is the heated pond. As you can see, it's covered in polycarbonate to maintain the temperature and make sure it is stable. As we know with goldfish keeping, maintaining a stable temperature is far more important than chasing a temperature in value. So these fish I think are currently about 16 to 18 degrees, and they are always covered to make sure that heat is kept in. As you can see, they're absolutely stunning examples in this pond. We've got some amazing asagis, some shirazuris, we've got some sakura ogon, beniginga. What else have we got? Goshki, shisui, kigoi, and some benigois. So there's some absolutely lovely fish in this pond. We're actually going to do an underwater video that I'm going to put on the screen now for you, so you can really appreciate the size and the quality of these fish. And then finally we're going to head into the end where all the dry goods are kept as well. So I'm going to put that underwater footage on the screen for you now, and then we're going to head into the end of the garden. As you can see, this pond is insulated, and it is actually around 2,500 gallons. I believe it contained around 50 to 60 fish in total. The filtration for this pond is a large vortex and then into a multi-bay. This water is then pumped back into the main pond. The pond also has a drum filter on it with a moving bed system as well, to remove lots of that physical waste and physical contaminants from the water, to make sure the water clarity is nice and clear. Now the water does look a little bit cloudy, and this is unfortunately because we did feed the fish beforehand, so they had stirred up the water a little bit. However, from the top the water looks absolutely gin clear and really shows the fish off. As I mentioned, there are a large, wide variety of fish in this pond. The asagis really caught my eye, around 60 centimeters these were. They were really impressive, and the blue across the back and the orange underbelly was really striking. So now we're just giving them a little bit more food, just so we can get up close and personal with them. Some lovely showers in here as well. These fish also get fed around 2 times a day, and the water, as I said, is around 16 to 18 degrees, and temperature stability is very important, especially for the higher end fish, the fish that are a little bit more sensitive potentially. So keeping that water parameter stable is quite essential to make sure the fish are in tip-top condition. This can also prevent any outbreak in parasites. Although parasites can't be totally ruled out, the stable temperature helps maintain the fish and stops them from becoming stressed, potentially leading to an outbreak in parasites. I hope you enjoyed that little underwater footage of these absolutely amazing fish. Now we're just going to head into the garage at the end of the garden where all the dry goods are. I'm going to try not to trip over. So now we are finally in the end of Maple Koi. This is where all of the dry goods are kept. So we've got lots of different foods, we've got medications. If you guys are in the koi hobby and need some bowls, medications, or some food, like we've got lots of blanket weed treatment here. We've got some powdered gold, which is a really good blanket weed treatment. And then on the other side, we've got some koi food. So we've got some Kasuri multi-season. This is actually what I used to feed when I kept my koi. And then there's just loads of buckets of food. Everywhere you look, there's so many different dry goods in this facility. So for instance, we've got some super silk here, which is silkworm pupae. The main construction of this food is the silkworm. And then we've just got like multi-season, wheat germ, etc. And finally, the last tank we've got in this facility right behind me here is another insulated tank. This tank is around 1,000 gallons and also houses the last of the tosai. So the rest of the tosai are actually housed in here, and they are also kept at quite a stable temperature. I believe these are at around 16 degrees. I'll just give you a sneak peek into here. They have just been fed, so I don't want to disturb them too much, but I'll just show you in the tank right now. As you can see, it's covered in polycarbonate just to keep that heat in. But you can see they are still very hungry and clearly want some food. Some lovely fish in here. We've got some shoa, some hiatsuris, some achiba, some sankis. So as you can see, there are a number of fish to suit all budgets here at Maple Koi. If you want to check out their website, I'm going to leave that down in the description below, and you can check their fish out and maybe some dry goods as well. If you are in Surrey, then please check them out. They're a really great family run business. I'm going to finish the video here and then wrap it up down at the end of the garden. We are back at the front of Maple Koi now. I hope you've really enjoyed this facility tour and this walk around tour. If there's anything else you want me to show from Maple Koi, I'm happy to come back and maybe we can do some more videos here. We're going to be doing some koi surgery in a future video, but that is going to be after part 2, so make sure you stick around to watch that one. Hope you enjoyed the tour as always. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.